You will never be Andrew Tate, and you need to stop trying. But who should you actually be? That's what we're going to go over in this video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Petruso. I own an insurance agency, Benefit Advisors Insurance Group. I own a real estate investment company, and I create a life completely on my terms. And I am not here to talk bad about Andrew Tate. I'm here to teach you to how to not be a model of somebody else, but to be a version of yourself, and pick and choose from the mentors that you have, and have many of them. Not just one mentor, you need to have many mentors in your life. And if you don't know my story, when I was growing up, I had three really prominent male figures in my life. Whether they were around a lot or not, I still looked up, especially as a young man. We see, close father-like figures, and we, idolize certain characteristics. And I caught myself when I was growing up either completely being the opposite or really admiring something to the point where I was trying to model it completely. But when I started to realize that, oh, it's my life, and I resonate with certain things, and you resonate with certain things, and some other things just really don't feel natural to you. So you should pull the things in that you see that other people are doing, and learn those things because they're interesting to you naturally, and you're curious about it naturally, and then kind of just don't necessarily have to model every single piece of that person. Why I say this is because when I was growing up, I had my father, and then he had two older brothers that I really kind of looked up to. And obviously I told you my story. I own an insurance agency, I own a real estate investment company, but my goal was always financial freedom. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because these three men that I grew up around, my father was a phenomenal salesman, right? He was one of the best salesmen. Anybody that ever met him was like, this guy could literally sell me a popsicle if I'm wearing white gloves. Like, that's what one of my clients told me once. And I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. But he was the best of the best at sales, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I like the freedom that he gets from it. I like the ability to persuade. I like the things that he gets from being a good salesman. So let me learn how he does that, right? Let me learn some of the skills that he has of being a salesman. However, he only wanted to be a salesman. Like, he every single day would just go out and sell. And I was like, well, I don't want to sell forever. I want to be able to leverage that into other things, right? So one of his older brothers actually owned a financial service and insurance agency. So I saw that his older brother stopped selling kind of like my dad was selling, and owned the business himself, right? He owned the business, and I was like, oh, I really admire that. So let me learn how to do that. But when I first started in sales and I started in insurance, my uncle, the one that owned the financial service office, kept trying to get me to basically do the same thing he was doing in financial services and things like that. And it didn't connect to me. I don't like having that much responsibility of people's money. That wasn't connected with me. I'd rather have a lot of clients and then help them with certain services and managing money and things like that for other people. I didn't really have any interest in it. So I kind of took what I wanted from what I saw about him owning his own business, and I took that and I started my own business, but I didn't do the same thing as him, right? And then it's even funnier, my dad's oldest brother, he was kind of the guy that I modeled a lot of because he had a lot of freedom. So my dad's my second oldest brother, he was always working, right? He loved working, he had his business and he loved working. But my dad's oldest brother always was on the boat in the summer, always had the free time to do whatever he wanted, was traveling to Florida, just was living this playboy life. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I was intrigued by what he did. And he actually invested in real estate. So he was a property manager, and then started investing in real estate, and then started buying a lot of bigger units and got into real estate. So real estate gave him a lot of the freedom that he was able to do a lot of these things. So I always would pick his brain about real estate, and it was always intriguing. So I combined basically my three mentors. My dad, who was a great salesman, I wanted to learn the skills from him, but not mold him exactly, because there was no person is human. And that's why I said this about Andrew Tate. Like, no one is human, or I'm sorry, no one is perfect. We are all human. We all make mistakes, and we are all individual. We have unique things that we like. You can learn things from me, but obviously you shouldn't be me. Like, I'm going to be me, you're going to be you, you're going to have your unique flavor of this world and experiences that connect to you. So when I saw this, I pulled the bits and pieces from, my uncles and my dad, and I basically built a life exactly how I wanted it from the mentors that I chose. And you can choose to have, whoever you want as a mentor, me, Andrew Tate, people in your family, people in your life, whoever it may be. But you do not have to put them on a pedestal and say that I have to do everything that this person is telling me. No. You have to be your own unique individual. You have to say, I resonate with this. I like the fact that men should stand up for themselves. I think that, we should all have to, put ourselves in difficult situations. We should be these type of men. I understand that. But there's also pieces of everybody that you can say, well, I don't necessarily agree with that part. And you're not bad for saying, well, that just doesn't connect to me, right? Like, I think Andrew talks about like being addicted to his phone. I do not want to be addicted to my phone. I like peace, right? I want the peace. So not everybody's going to resonate the exact same for everything, but you can take bits and pieces that do resonate with you and then mold it into your life. That is the objective of all of you need to do with your life, is find many mentors, right? Take bits and pieces that you see that you like, you resonate with, and then go deeper on it, right? Like, I wanted to be a salesman. I wanted to have that skill of being able to persuade and create a life on my terms because of what I was able to produce, right? Like that, I think sales and persuasion is one of the number one skills that everybody should learn. But I also didn't want to just be a salesman. I wanted to be a business owner. So, okay, I modeled my uncle, who was a business owner, and I learned a lot of things from him, seeing how he worked, how he interacted. But I also didn't want to just be working 60 hours a week at a job that I now created for myself in my own business. That's not what I wanted. So I wanted to also invest in real estate and to create financial freedom and to do some creative, rehabs and things like that with the real estate. So I started adding all these things in that resonated with me. I might have been more financially well off if I went a route that maybe my uncle told me, and I did financial services, and maybe I would have made more money if I would have just done real estate. But that's okay. You don't have to be a billionaire. You can do whatever you want and make as much money as you want, but it should be on your terms, right? Nobody tells me how much money I'm able to make. Nobody tells me that I'm limited to make this amount of money, or nobody tells me that I have to make this much money. I can make as much money as I want because it's my life. I have everything that I ever need, and if I want to make more money, I can. If I don't need to make any more money and I'm happy where I'm at, that's fine too. Nobody is telling you have to live any certain way. So when you get it out of your head that somebody told you to do something and you like one thing about what they do or how their life looks, then you start modeling every single piece and the way that they live. No, you are unique. When something in your life feels a little off, you have to take a step back and say, is this truly what I want? And you can get caught up doing a lot of actions because you think that it's getting you to desired outcome, but the desired outcome is somebody else's life, right? Unless you take time to actually mold from many, many people. So like, take advice from me, take advice from whoever you think is maybe a step or two ahead of you and say, oh wow, shit, Matt has literally created a life exactly how he wanted it. He gets to live wherever he wants. He gets to work whenever he wants. He has, enough free time to make these videos for you because he has no need for money, more than he actually wants to make, right? He doesn't need anything. Well, that seems admirable. Let me learn something from him. He works out every day. He's fit, whatever it may be. You can take bits and pieces from people and then put it into what resonates with you. Like, you don't have to be a bodybuilder to admire somebody's work ethic because they're, very, very fit, right? But you can say, well, maybe I like being more agile, more flexible, more, functional. Okay, that's great. Implement what works for you and then put it into your own life. So it's vitally important, because when something does not connect to you truly, you will be forced to act out of discipline. And discipline is like a fuel gauge on a car, and it does exhaust every day. You only have so much discipline in a day, and your job is to do a lot of things that require as little discipline and decision-making power as possible, so when difficult times do come, you have enough fuel in the tank, right, to make that difficult decision. But most people spend all of their discipline doing shit that they do not like to get things that they do not desire. It blows my mind. So what you should do is take in as much information as possible, try it out. Your life is a hypothesis, and then continuously test, continuously adapt, and continuously move and see how things fit. And then if they fit, great, keep it or get rid of it. All right? Hopefully this was helpful. This literally, I did it subconsciously, but when I was picturing my life, I saw bits and pieces of people that I admired, and I took what I wanted and I got rid of the rest. That's what you need to do to make a great life. So if you thought this was helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. You're getting free advice from multimillionaires out here. All right? Peace.